It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly bring you Wisconsin Baseball Association State Tournament action with pool play from Carson Park in Eau Claire. Stay with us as we bring you all the action from pools 1 and 2 to see which two teams will make it to the Final Four on Sunday in Osseo. And now, out to Carson Park and the next WBA State Tournament game.
And welcome back to Carson Park. Rick Olson here along with Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Dan Peckshaw, and busy writing going on in front of me as we have the Spooner Cardinals taking on the Hudson River Rats, and we have some confusion as to which is which. The scoreboard says Hudson is the visiting team with Spooner being the home team, and I guess that's correct. And I think that's what we have on our thing. Yes, Hudson as the visiting and Spooner as the home team. Going through the starting lineups for the River Rats, leading off the second baseman, Mitch Lewis, batting second. The right fielder, Hunter Fry. Isaiah Grandkorwitz is the first baseman. The designated hitter, Owen Anderson. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Jake Busson. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Jason Holler. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Will Gillick. Batting eighth, the catcher, Kyler Hove. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Peyton Lawrence. Logan Von Berg will be on the mound for the River Rats, and they come into this game with a record of 19-15. For the Spooner Cardinal, oh, check that, that's not correct. That was a football score from last night. I thought that was the record, but that's what I get for not checking my stuff real carefully. We'll have that record for you in a little bit. Spooner Cardinals, they'll have Josh Davidson leading off playing left field. Carson Stanberg is in center field. Chad Patko is at shortstop. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Sam Holden. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Trevor Brimblecon. Batting sixth, the catcher, Austin Sigfrids. Batting seventh, the pitcher, Christian Lindau. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Nick Webster. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Brandon Rangel. And on the mound is Christian Lindau. And we'll be back with the start of this game right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Shazam knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Okay, and our umpires for today's game behind the plate is Teddy Joas, and Paul Osmond's on first, and Dan Hoffman is on third base. So we've got the home team for this game is the Spooner Cardinals, and the visitors would then be the Hudson River Rats. And we are just about ready to get things started on this second game of the day with they're giving the starting lineups to the public address system, and we are just about ready to get going. Ann is getting her stuff settled in over there with all of her things that she has to play and cameras to move around and all that kind of stuff. We'll pick up the public address announcer.
Number 22, Christian Lindahl. Number 3, Nick Webster. Number 99, the second baseman, number 17, Brandon Rangel. The Cardinals are coached by Kyle Rutter, and he is assisted by Dudley and Cody Echo. The officials for tonight's game are the bases Mr. Paul Osmond and Mr. Dan Hoffman. And behind home plate, Sir Theodore Joas. Gentlemen, let's play baseball.
So, warming up on the mound for the Spooner Cardinals is Christian Lindahl, and he is actually their pickup player from the Hagen Hornets. That's why his jersey is a little bit different than everybody else's. And we're getting ready to start off in the top of the first inning. Leading off for the Hudson River Rats, Mitch Lewis. He's the second baseman. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike call.
River Rats come into the tournament with a 21-12 record, and they are the 10th seed in the state tournament. Spooner comes in with a 16-3 record, and they are the 7th seed in the tournament.
Fly ball out into center field, moving over Stanberg. He's under it. He makes the catch for the first out. So one down.
Number 4, right fielder, Hunter Fry.
It's going to bring up Hunter Fry. And it's fouled back.
Hunter Fry stands right on the inside chalk line, very close to home plate. It'll be interesting how they pitch him.
And the pitch. Ground ball foul down the third baseline. 0-2 is the count to Hunter Fry. Hunter Fry went 0 for 2 last night in Hudson's game against the Tilden Tigers, which they lost by the score of 10-0. The game got a little testy by the end of the game.
Yeah, we kind of had some fun with that one up here in the booth.
Lindau winds and delivers. And that pitch is high for a ball.
I was running the camera last night, and at times I didn't know if I should pan to the visitor dugout or to the home team dugout at times.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Ground ball scooped up by Goodlacombe, and he throws it over to first in time for the out.
Great job to charge that ball, take your momentum, and gun him down.
So 2 down. And a high pop-up on, and it's just out of play behind the plate.
You know, on that last play as an infielder, that's exactly how you're taught to play that ball. You charge it, and you don't let the ball play you. You play the ball.
And a high pop-up out into right field. Coming on is Webster, and he makes the catch. And that's the third out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, and we played a half inning. And it's Hudson nothing, and the Spooner Cardinals coming to bat on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I love the pizza we get when we go to Gino's Pizza.
That's because Gino's has been voted best pizza in the Chippewa Valley 5 years in a row.
I think it's because Gino's uses the freshest ingredients, premium quality meats, cheeses, savory spices, and zesty toppings, and all served with attention to detail.
Now you're making me hungry. Let's head to Gino's Pizza.
Scott and the rest of the folks at Gino's Pizza would like to invite you to come out and try the area's best pizza. Call about Monday through Wednesday dine-in specials at 715-835-2000. That's Gino's Pizza at 5110 Fairview Drive, Eau Claire, right next to Chaos Water Park.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
So we're heading into the bottom half of the first inning. Due up for the Spooner Cardinals is Josh Davidson, Carson Stanberg, and Chad Patko. And we are waiting on the first hitter. And he steps up to the plate. And that's Josh Davidson, the left fielder.
Davidson comes in batting .345 on the season.
First pitch was a ball. Two balls, no strikes now to Josh Davidson.
Pretty healthy on base percentage for Davidson, .472.
And there's a strike called on the outside corner. Of course, that's why he's batting in that leadoff spot. You want somebody who's going to get on base a lot. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's tied for second on the team with hits. So you're right, between the hits and the walks, he's a good guy to have as your leadoff batter.
Two balls, two strikes. And the pitch is high, and the count goes full to Josh Davidson. Here's the wind and the pitch. Ground ball straight up the middle, fielded there by the shortstop, throw to first in time. Bussum over to Grand Korwitz for the putout. 6-3.
And that's a play I'm going to watch later tonight. That was a spectacular play there.
Carson Stanberg to head up. Yeah, Bussum had to go way over behind second to make the play, and then threw it across his body and made the putout.
Stanberg comes in batting .298.
First pitch is a called strike at the letters.
He's appeared in 17 games and he's scored 69 runs.
And the pitch. High chopper again over behind second, and the throw to first. Bussum actually made that one look easy.
So if you're watching that movie Groundhog's Day, it was the same exact play he made the last guy.
Except it took a little higher hop this time, which gave him a chance to get over under it and make the play. That's going to bring up Chad Patko.
Patko batting, sorry, Rick. Patko coming in, batting .308, and he does play shortstop.
And the pitch is high for a ball.
Patko has had 26 at-bats this year. He's scored 5 runs, and he's had 8 hits.
And the pitch. That's high and tight for a ball.
Boy, I'm looking at these Spooner stats, and they have only one player who has a below .300 on-base percentage. That's pretty good.
And the pitch. That's inside for a ball. Three balls, no strikes. And the pitch. That's inside, ball 4.
Not by much, but it was inside.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Sam Holden. Taking a quick look at the Hudson River Rats. Defensively, Hove is behind the plate, Gillick at third, Bussum at short, Lewis is at second, Grant Korwitz at first. Out in the outfield, it's Holler, Lawrence, and Fry from left to right. And the first pitch is a called strike to Sam Holden.
Holden coming in with a .338 average. He's appeared in 18 games, and he has 22 hits.
And the pitch. That's a called strike. Oh, 0-2. 2 down. And the pitch. High pop-up foul territory back towards the screen. And not able to make the catch is Hove. He circled around, but not able to get quite under it. So the count holds at 0-2. And time is called. Holden wanted time. Teddy Joas does a nice job of keeping us straight on who called time. Foul ball off on the right side. And again, the count remains 0-2.
For those of you that wonder why a batter would call time, one of the reasons would be you have your fast twitch muscle, and when you're going to bat, if the pitcher takes too much time, your fast twitch muscles tense up and it's hard to hit the ball.
And the pitch. That's just outside.
So
it's kind of the same thing with a defensive lineman coiled to attack, and the quarterback does that hard count. You can make that muscle jump without expecting it. And it's fouled back into the catcher's mask, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
that is a very good analogy. Before I got schooled more on baseball, I didn't know why batters always took time out so much, and it's because they want those fast twitch muscles to be ready.
Runner takes his lead, and the pitch, and that one got him in the wrist, and that one hurt. Sam Holden heading down to first. Let's see if he follows the cardinal rule of baseball here. Don't rub it. You never rub it.
So far, so good. I'm watching him. He ain't rubbing.
And Ann's wondering, why don't you rub it? It's because you don't want to admit that it hurts. He's not rubbing it. He looked at it, but he didn't rub it. And goes, silly boys.
Well, you know, men are macho, and that's just the way it is.
If you're going to rub it, it's rubbing a little dirt on it. That's... So, 2 runners on. Patco at second, Holden at first. Trevor Brimblecon. Well, that name's a mouthful. Brimblecon. Van Berg takes a look at second and now delivers. It's high for a ball.
There's only a few of these Spooner players that have a below 5 or 300 batting average. Brimblecon's one of them, coming in at 281. He has appeared in 18 games.
Here's the pitch. And it's a strike called.
He does have 64 at-bats, and he has scored 12 runs. He's hit 2 doubles and 1 home run. And his on-base percentage is .397.
And a line shot foul. And as best as I can figure, Spooner has a record of 14-4 for the season. Well, 14-4 based upon the stats that we have. They said 16-3. There's a line shot out into right field. They can't catch it by Fry, and coming in to score all the way from second base is Patko.
And I'm going to be looking closely at the scoreboard to see how they scored that.
I think it's going to be a hit.
I'm with you.
Because that was a diving attempt. My philosophy is an error is for routine plays that don't get made.
If I'm looking at that scoreboard, it looks like in the middle, it looks like a 1, which would be a hit.
Yes, that would be a hit. So
Spooner has their first hit of the game.
So single to right with an RBI for Brimblecon, with Spooner on top, 1-0. Austin Siegfrieds. Austin Siegfrieds is at the plate.
Siegfrieds comes in batting .321. He's had 56 at-bats on the season.
1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch. Fouled back. Counts even at 1-1.
Siegfried's on-base percentage is .344. He has scored 12 runs, and he has 18 hits. 12 RBIs and 3 doubles.
Logan Van Berg looking in and delivers. Foul back into the screen. Count goes to 1-2 with 2 down. 2 runners on. And the pitch. That was a little bit high. Counts even at 2-2. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 on. For the Spooner Cardinals. Van Berg delivers. Fouled away into the Hudson dugout.
Boy, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it happens every now and then. Players really have to be careful, not so much about ducking on the ball coming in, but on the ricochet off the back of the dugout.
I would have never thought about that.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Siegfrieds goes down on strikes, and it's 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 2 were left on base. We played an inning, and it's Spooner 1, Hudson 0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Back here at Carson Park, Rick Olson along with Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Dan Petchow as we head to the second inning of our second game today. Game 2 of 4 that we're going to bring you today. Spooner Cardinals taking on the Hudson River Rats, and we head to the top of the second with the River Rats coming to the plate. Owen Anderson, the designated hitter, he'll be followed by Jake Busson and Jason Holler. Here's the wind in the pitch. Line shot snagged by the third baseman, Brimblecon. He just reached out and pulled it in. Otherwise, that was heading for the corner and extra bases. That's a play that you mark with an asterisk in your scorebook because that's a special one. That's going to bring up Jake Busson, the shortstop. And the first pitch is called strike. Busson went 0 for 3. He lined out to short and struck out twice last night. The pitch swung on a missed strike 2. And the pitch. Foul ball back behind the press box. And off the roof of the grandstand. And Dan's on it. Between Dan and Ben, and I'll tell you what, they're just like a couple of little boys up here. There's a high pop-up. And taken in over there by Brimblecon. It's a record held by many. So at the plate is Jason Holler. Holler went 0 for 2, struck out twice yesterday. And there's a ground ball foul, so it's 0-2 the count. Well, it's 0-2. Yeah, or something like that. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So the River Rats go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played an inning and a half. And the score, Spooner Cardinals 1 and Hudson 0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Yeah, he was explaining to us how that catcher got so tired. He said, you don't look so good, you should come out of the game.
Life doesn't always
I would have never
give you
known that if
time
I
to change the outcome.
That was nice.
Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
We're back here at Carson Park, heading into the bottom of the second inning. Spooner on top, 1-0, and leading things off is the pitcher, Christian Lindau. Again, he has a different uniform because he is the drafted player for the Spooner Cardinals, coming from the one of the Haugen teams.
Haugen Hornets.
There we go. I knew it was a bug of some type. It was just bugging me that I couldn't figure it out. That one even got a groan out of Dan. Ann's covering her mouth. It almost made her spew water. No balls and a strike, and now it's no balls and 2 strikes as Lindau swings and misses.
Shout out to my buddy Dan, who used to play for the Haugen Hornets. Dan, you know who you are.
And it's not our camera guy, is it?
Nope. It's a very good pitcher that pitched at UW Superior.
And now the pitch is outside for a ball.
And he beat the Eau Claire Cavaliers a few years ago. That's all I'll say about that.
It's surprising a little tiny town like Haugen has 2 ball clubs. And a strike 3 call. Christian Lindau.
Well, from what I know, they draw a lot of players from the Rice Lake area and the Hayward area.
Now, these teams mostly have a 30-mile radius that they're required to follow, but there are a lot of ball players up in that area. So you've got the Haugen Knights and the Haugen Hornets. And there's a pitch on the inside corner. Nick Webster is at the plate. He's the right fielder. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Webster comes in batting .219, and he has a .297 on base percentage. He's had 32 at-bats on the season.
No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And a strike called. So he goes down looking. That's 2 hitters that have gone down looking so far this inning. Brandon Rangel.
Number 17, Brandon Rangel.
Rangel leading the team with a .426 batting average.
And there's a pitch for a ball.
He's appeared in 12 games, and he has an on-base percentage of .460.
One ball and 1 strike to Brandon Rangel. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Von Berg on the mound. And the pitch. Ground ball foul down the third baseline.
Boy, this Hudson pitcher seems to get stronger as they go.
Yeah, it took him an inning to get into the groove of things, it looks like. High pop-up, drifting into foul territory. Well, no, back in fair territory, and it gets caught out there by Grant Korwitz. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 2, and it's Spooner 1 and Hudson nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Oliva Strum High School to take on the Oliva Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Back here at Carson Park, we go to the top of the third inning. Due up for the Hudson River Rats, Will Gillick, Kyler Hove, and Peyton Lawrence. And the first pitch is a called strike to Will Gillick. And I've wondered this every time Hudson comes and plays. There used to be a Gillick who played for the Cavaliers. I want to say Craig Gillick.
I think you're right.
And I'm wondering if they are related. Gillick is not that common a name. Pitch missed high. 2 balls and a strike to Will Gillick. And that pitch is high for a ball. 3-1. I'm not going to make the assumption that they're related because you never know when you make that assumption how you could end up being wrong. Like somebody did with the Erickson boys.
Yeah, we won't mention any names.
We won't mention any names, will we? Ben.
But the initials are Ben Ryder. Not to change the subject on you, but I really appreciate that this Will Gillick can pitch, play second base, play third base, and play shortstop. That's pretty good.
Those are handy guys to have. There's a line shot out into left field, but coming in and making a spectacular sliding catch is Davidson. All of a sudden that S looked like a B, and I'm going, David Bond? That doesn't make sense. Davidson came in and made the sliding catch for out number 1. That's another one that deserves an asterisk.
Yeah, I'll be watching that play again tonight when I watch the game. I'll have to remember what inning that one came in.
Kyler Hove steps to the plate. And there's a foul ball out of play.
And boy, I really like these Hudson uniforms. It's real easy to see the numbers. They're those great big throwback large numbers.
So, Kyler Hove went 0 for 2 yesterday against Tilden. Foul ball. Actually, it's not surprising that a lot of these guys are 0 for something because we almost had a no-hitter thrown by Tanner Halverson last night by the Tilden Tigers. We only gave up 1 hit.
We know who jinxed that, me.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, we did say, didn't we? We were talking about that as we were heading into the late innings, and you just don't ever do that.
Kind of like when a guy's shooting free throws in basketball and he's 10 for 10.
You don't say that when he's at the line.
No, he'll miss.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Line shot. That one goes out into left field for a base hit. So Hove singles to left.
I'm going to say that's Hudson's first hit on the day.
It is. Brings up Peyton Lawrence.
See, I'm good for something here in the booth.
Lawrence wearing a different jersey today than he did yesterday. Well, they're wearing their whites today, and they were wearing their reds yesterday. Last night he was number 33. Now he's number 1. He went 0 for 1 last night. Did draw a walk, so he did get on base. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. And Kyler Hove. Throw over to first, and Hove is back safely. Christian Lindau delivers. Chopper down the third base line, and it goes foul. Very wise play that time by Brimblecon. He had a chance to field it, but with that high hop, he knew he had no chance to make the out. So he just decided to take his chances again and see if it would go foul, and it did.
And that's a veteran move right there.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Peyton Lawrence. And the pitch. Soft little looper. It's going to fall in out into right field, but they got to play at second, and they forced the runner at second. He had to hold up. He couldn't tell if the ball was going to be caught by Rangel or not, and it wasn't.
And being that it was a line drive, the infield fly rule is not in effect in that situation.
It wouldn't have been anyway because there weren't two runners on. And I think Lawrence is going to get, I think he should get credit for a base hit. Nope, they gave him a fielder's choice on that. So runner at first, Peyton Lawrence. Mitch Lewis at the plate. Ground ball over to short, scoop there, throw to second for the third out of the inning. So Lewis grounds into the fielder's choice. And we have no runs on one hit, no errors, and one left. So we've played 2.5, and it's Spooner 1 and Hudson nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
We head into the bottom of the third inning. Due up for the Spooner Cardinals, we have the top of the order, Josh Davidson, Carson Stanberg, and Chad Patko. Davidson grounded to short his first time up. And that pitch was inside for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. Foul ball on the left side, out of play. The wind and the pitch. A foul ball, fly ball out of play on the left side.
Right up into the bullpen netting, and it falls down, and finally we have some ball shakers at the ballpark. Now I can
and a ground ball over towards first, scooped up, throw over to first, where the pitcher covering Lindau did or that's not Lindau. Von Berg got over to make the put out. To Carson Stanberg, he also grounded to short his last time up. And there's a strike called. That one caught the inside corner. And that pitch just missed outside. And it's fouled way off the left side. Warming up pretty nicely here in Eau Claire, 85 degrees at Carson Park. Slight breeze that blows through now and then. Here's the wind in the pitch. A high hopper over towards second. Picked up, throw to first, and they're not going to get him. There's a base hit for Carson Stanberg. He hit it high off the grass. It bounced way up into the air, and they had to make the play.
I think the only chance they had there is if the shortstop would have fielded that one because his momentum was going towards first. But it still would have been a close play.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure it would have been all that close because the runner beat that by a lot. So, Stanberg at first, Chad Patko at the plate. He walked last time up and scored the one run that the Cardinals have. There's a pitch inside for a ball. Cardinals wear the high socks and knickers look. Foul back into the netting. That might be one Dan might want to go get, and he's on it.
Should mention Carson Stanberg out there, first base, leads the team in stolen bases with 7.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chad Patko at the plate. And Dan successfully went and shagged another ball. I think that's number 3 today, isn't it, Dan? Yeah, it's 3 balls today.
First baseman, Sam Holden.
So Sam Holden steps to the plate with 2 outs now. As Patko went down. Line shot out into right field. Coming in and catching it is Fry. And that'll do it for the Spooner Cardinals in the 3rd inning. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left on base. So we've played 3 innings, and it's Spooner 1, Hudson nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Royal Credit Union's low rates and flexible terms on auto loans can help keep your payments low. Get a great rate on your next car or truck purchase, or refinance an existing vehicle with an auto loan from Royal Credit Union. Royal also offers loans for buying or refinancing boats, UTVs, and other vehicles. Royal Credit Union wants to help keep your payments low. Check rates and apply for a Royal Credit Union vehicle loan online at rcu.org/autorate. Subject to credit approval.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Gotta hand it to Dan. There's some little guys he's going to put out of business down there. He's shagging balls up here on the roof like they're going out of style. And that's the 3rd one he's throwing back down to Teddy Joas behind the plate.
And don't worry, Dan, I'm going to make sure to get the 3 tokens for you because you worked hard for them.
So leading off for the Hudson River Rats, we have Hunter Fry, Isaiah Grant Corbett, and Owen Anderson. And the first pitch is fouled back for strike 1. Christian Lindau on the mound, and he delivers. It's high and away for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Lindell winds and fires. And that just missed inside. 2 balls and a strike.
You know what I really like about these umpires? Anytime the catcher gets hurt, they always make a mound visit or brush the plate off to give them time to recuperate.
There's all kinds of things they can find to do.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch. It's outside. Oh, he called it a strike. Must have caught that upper corner. It's all it's got to do is just catch that one corner.
And I didn't hear any complaints, so.
And there's a strike 3 called right down the middle of Water Street. So Hunter Fry goes down looking. Isaiah Grankorwitz, who flew out to right field his last time up. And the first pitch is a called strike. Wind and the pitch. Ground ball over to first base. Bobbled by the first baseman, and they're not going to get him. Holden had that ball bounce up over his glove and out into right field. It's going to be an error on Holden. So Grankorwitz is on first. Brings up Owen Anderson, who lined out to third on a spectacular play over at third base by Brimblecon. Pitch is outside for a ball. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on. And that one's fouled away.
Count is 1 and 2. Pitcher at the belt.
Check swing.
Appeal, and they say he did not swing.
So it's 2 and 2. With 1 down. And the pitch swung on a miss for strike 3. 2 away. Brings up Jake Busson, who fouled out to Brimblecon his last time up.
Shortstop, Jake Busson.
Over to first and back in safely is Grankorwitz. Here's the pitch. Strike called. And the pitch. The high pop up, and it's going to be out of play. So, no balls and a strike with 2 down. To Jake Busson. Check that, no balls and 2 strikes to Jake Busson. Here's the pitch. Soft little looper out in the center field. Not going to fall because it gets caught by Stanberg, who made a nice running catch. So, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We've played 3.5, and it's the Spooner Cardinals 1 and the Hudson River Rats nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Heading into the bottom half of the 4th inning, due up for the Spooner Cardinals, we have Trevor Brimblecon, Austin Siegfrieds, and Christian Lindau. Brimblecon hit an RBI single to right field his last time up. And that first pitch is a called strike. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Brimblecon leads the team in RBIs with 16.
Pitch is outside for a ball. Here's the pitch. Line shot, caught by the shortstop, Hudson. That was headed for center field and a base hit, but it's not going to get there. Austin Siegfrieds comes to the plate. He struck out his last time up. And the pitch. That's a strike called.
And Siegfrieds has a record you don't want to have. He leads the team in strikeout with 12.
Well, not this time. He grounds it over to second, throw over to first in time. Lewis to Grant Korwitz for the out. That brings up Christian Lindau, pitcher. He went down looking in his first appearance. There's a strike called. And strike 2.
Lindau comes in batting .333.
And they thought they had strike 3, but Teddy Jones said, nope, it's a little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lindau. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. That's the second time Christian Lindau has gone down looking, and the Cardinals go down in the 4th with no runs on, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 4. Cardinals on top, 1-0 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us, on the roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Visit either of Eau Claire's 2 locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores on Highway 93 or North Claremont Avenue.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Back here at Carson Park, Rick Olson along with Ann Monroe, Ben Ryder, and Dan Petshaw, bringing you all the action of the WBA pool play from Carson Park. This is Pool 2 action today with the Hudson River Rats and the Spooner Cardinals. And we head into the top of the 5th inning. Spooner on top 1-0, and Hudson coming to the plate. Jason Holler leading things off. He'll be followed by Will Gillick and Kyler Hove. Holler came in after striking out his first time up. And there's a strike called. 1 ball and 1 strike on a sunshiny afternoon here at Carson Park. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big softball tournament going on here at Carson Park as well. There's a pop-up out by third base, moving back and making the catch is Brimblecon for the out. That's going to bring up Will Gillick, who lined out to left field on a pretty spectacular catch by the left fielder. One of those diving, sliding catches. There's some fans enjoying the shade out by the fan deck on this warm and toasty Saturday afternoon. Foul back. No balls and 2 strikes to Gillick. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2 pitch is in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the wind in the pitch. And that one's chopped foul down the third baseline. Here's the wind and the pitch. Little looper out by second base. Getting under it is Rangel, and he makes the catch. So Rangel wrangled that one. Ben's giving me a thumbs up. Ann's afraid to look at me right now. 2 down. We're in the top of the 5th inning. And the pitch. Pop foul back out of play behind us. No balls, 2 strikes. And that pitch is high. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip.
And you know, that's what I appreciate about you among many things is when I kind of question if the pitch is a ball or a strike, all I got to do is look over at you and you give me an explanation upon demand. I love that.
I can't promise it's always right. Foul ball down the third base line.
I mean, you'll never...
Count holds at 1-2.
You'll never quite know what an umpire thinks if it's low or high, but it's good to have somebody's opinion. I've got a pretty good view where I am to see if it's an inside or outside pitch. It's just hard for me to tell if it's
Swing and a
low
miss
or
for
high.
strike 3. So, after he goes down on strikes, we have no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We have completed 4.5, and it's still 1-0. Spooner on top of Hudson, Northern Light Webcasting Network, and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
So we're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. And due up for the Spooner Cardinals, Nick Webster, Brandon Rangel, and then back to the top of the order, Josh Davidson. Stepping up is Nick Webster. Struck out looking his first time up. One ball and 1 strike to Nick Webster. The pitch is outside, but a called strike on the outside corner. And there's a high fly ball out into right field, drifting back and making the running catch is Fry. That'll bring up Brendan Rango, who fouled out to the first baseman his last time up. And the first pitch is a ball. Let's try that one more time. Let me turn your mic on so we can hear the good things you have to say, Ben.
As I mentioned earlier, Brandon Rango leads the Spooner Cardinals with a .426 batting average. So with one out, he's a pretty good guy to have up to bat.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball over to short, throw over to first. And they pulled him off, and they got him. They say that his foot was on the bag when he caught the ball, and then it came off right away, and they called him out at first. So 6-3 on the putout. Busing over to Grant Korwitz, and takes us back to the top of the order, Josh Davidson.
So as I like to say, we're at the top of the shop.
Davidson is 0 for 2. Grounded to short and grounded over to first. And the pitch is high for a ball. And there's another pitch that misses. 0-2. Wind in the pitch. High pop foul out of play. I guess it wasn't quite out of play, but just not one that they were going to be able to get to. 2 balls and a strike to Josh Davidson. Berg on the mound, and he delivers, and it's outside. Ball 3.
You know, I have to laugh. The shortstop for Hudson was kind of giving the umpire a hard time. Hey, get out of my way, and I would have had that.
And the pitch. Strike called. Outside half of the plate. Count is full now to Josh Davidson. And the pitch. Swung on that, hit him. Nope, it came off the bat.
Kind of a
foul ball.
Kind of a
3-2.
excuse me swing there.
Kind of a getting out of the way and happened to get it with the bat. There's a soft liner out into the outfield, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. Shortstop Hudson was attempting to get out there and even tried to make a barehanded catch, but it was just beyond his reach. And so Davidson is on with a single.
And that'll be the 3rd hit of the day for the Spooner Cardinals.
Carson Sternberg comes to the plate. He's got one of the other 2 hits. With 2 down. And a foul ball out of play on the left side. No balls and 1 strike. Davidson up first. Takes his lead. Davidson goes. The throw down to second and in safely. And the ball gets away from the shortstop. He kept the tag on, thinking he still had the ball. So Lewis went over and picked it up.
Yeah, it looked like he went to tag him before he realized, oops, I got to have the ball first, and then I tag him.
So Davidson now on second. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul back.
When it's a
Sternberg on the plate.
It's a good thing that that scoreboard has a net, because that's what it hit.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner on second. Davidson with his lead. Van Berg with the pitch, and it's a fly ball towards left field, foul, and making the catch out in left field is Holler, and he pulled it in just before getting to the fence, and he put the brakes on before he got to the fence. Nice catch out there in left field. So we have no runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left on base. So we've played 5 innings, and it's still Spooner 1 and Hudson nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Back at Carson Park as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Spooner Cardinals taking on the Hudson River Rats. River Rats coming to the plate trailing by a run. Due up, Peyton Lawrence. He'll be followed by Mitch Lewis and Hunter Fry. Lawrence grounded into a fielder's choice last time up. Pitch is high for a ball. And the pitch. That was outside for a ball. Two balls, no strikes. And the pitch. And that's a strike called at the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a line shot out into right center field, falls in for a hit.
You know, I got to laugh. There was a pretty good sized gap out there, but those outfielders are fast, and they cut that ball off, and they got it on one hop, got it in.
So Peyton Lawrence gets on a single, brings up Mitch Lewis. Lewis is 0 for 2, flew out to center field and grounded into a fielder's choice. Squares to bunt, the ball gets away from the catcher and down to second goes Lawrence. He took off on the pitch. I think he would be awarded the stolen base. And the pitch. So I'm going to follow back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, between a 7-seeded team and a 10th-seeded team, what else would you expect but a 1-1 game?
Well, there is not much difference. Actually, from 1 through 12, there isn't a whole lot of difference. That pitch is outside for a ball. Maybe with the exception of the River Falls Fighting Fish, they are a pretty impressive ball club.
Yeah, they're in a class of their own.
See if anybody can give them a challenge here. Pitch is outside for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. To Mitch Lewis. Line shot right back up the middle. And rounding third and coming to the plate. He's going to have a play at the plate, but coming in and scoring is Lawrence, and we have a tie game.
And alertly, the hitter goes to second on the throw to home. Just like they draw it up. If they're going to make that throw, you better take advantage of it as a base runner and move up a base. And he did exactly that. And now Hudson has another runner in scoring position.
And it's going to bring up Hunter Fry. All tied up at 1-1 in the 6th inning. And the pitch. That was inside for a ball. And the pitch. Foul ball out of play on the left side. And the pitch. Light shot out into left center field. Long run and making the catch out there. Stenberg. Runner tags and gets to third.
And the Spooner pitcher alertly backed up that throw.
So Mitch Lewis moves to third on the fly ball to center field.
And with that hit, we're going to have a few Hudson players, Spooner players head down to the bullpen. We'll get those names and numbers for you in a minute.
Hunter Rosenbaum is going to start warming up down in the Spooner bullpen. There's a chopper foul down the third base line.
So when you have your bullpen session, it's nice to have three guys because you can have a catcher, the pitcher, and then you can have one guy as the spotter in case the ball gets away from the catcher.
Or more likely, a foul ball coming in that direction. He's there to protect them because they're not watching the game.
Correct.
1 ball and 1 strike to Isaiah Grankorowitz. 0 for 2. Flew out to right field. It got on an error by the first baseman where the ball kind of rolled up his arm and over his shoulder. There's a strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. There's a runner on third. That's Mitch Lewis over on third. 1 run is in for the River Rats. And the pitch. Line shot out into left field is going to fall into a hit run. The run comes in to score. And so it's an RBI single for Grankorowitz.
And the Hudson fans appreciate that. You can hear them up here in the booth. Finally something to cheer about. And with that, we're going to get a visit to the mound.
And he's looking over toward the bullpen to see if his pitcher is ready. He's going to try and buy some time here. And the base umpire is coming over to have a bit of a talk.
So with 1 out, they're probably talking about the double play, where to go with the ball. Like Rick said, he's buying him some time. He's telling the pitcher, calm down, we got 1 out. You're throwing a good game, trying to encourage him.
A lot of looking going on. I think he's going to wait till the umpires come out to break up this conference, and then he's going to make the call to the bullpen. That's my hypothesis, anyway. How's that for a good word for a second?
That's good, and one thing you have to do, which you're good at, Rick, is you read body language, and that's exactly what the Hudson manager.
And there's the call to the bullpen, just as the umpire came walking out to break things up. So we'll get this all figured out right after this time out on Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. Now, 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
New pitcher for the Spooner Cardinals is Hunter Rosenbaum. Christian Lindau went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, both of which were earned on 4 hits, and he struck out 4. And what do we know about Hunter Rosenbaum, Ben?
Hunter Rosenbaum has appeared in 6 games. He's pitched in 26 1/3 innings, given up 13 runs, 10 earned runs. He's given up 24 hits, given up 13 base on balls, struck out 20. He has a 1 win and 1 loss record, 0 saves. His ERA is 3.42, and his WHIP is 1.41. So I think you would sign off on that WHIP.
What did you say it was?
1.41.
1.41. Yeah, it's below 1.5, and that's somewhere that you want it to be.
I mean, I know you're big on the WHIP. You said anything under 1.5. So it looks like they're going to talk about the signs. The pitcher and the catcher get on the same page, figure what they want to do. With the runner on first, it's not too critical because you don't have a runner on second that can pick off your signs, but they just have to get some signs down and figure out what they're going to do here.
So, coming to the plate for the Hudson River Rats, Owen Anderson. River Rats have moved into the lead. Two to one, and the first pitch is high and inside to Anderson. Anderson, by the way, lined out to third and then struck out. Pitch is outside for ball. Actually, a pretty good pitching performance by Christian Lindau. Only gave up 4 hits. They were just well timed by the River Rats. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Hunter Rosenbaum on the mound.
You know, I'm not trying to make any excuses for Hunter, but he didn't have that much time in the bullpen to warm up.
And the pitch. That's inside for ball 4. That moves Grant Korwitz over to second. By the way, Grant Korwitz is the responsibility of Lindau. Anderson on first, Jake Busson at the plate. Busson is over 2. Fouled out to the third baseman and flew up to center field.
Now Rosenbaum finds the strike zone.
0-1 is the count. 1 out. And the pitch. Swung on a miss.
You know, it's not easy to go in there and throw strikes right away, but credit Hunter Rosenbaum. He's bearing down pretty good right here.
And the pitch. That one. We're at 1-2 count. Rosenbaum at the belt. And he delivers. Foul back into the screen to Jake Busson. Runners at second and first. Pitches outside, gets past the catcher, and the runners each advance. And all runners are at second and third.
You know, if you're a coach, you like Jake Busson because he can pitch, he can play second base, and he can play shortstop for you.
So at third is Isaiah Grankorowitz. At second is Owen Anderson. Jake Busson at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Hudson River Rats trying to make their crooked number even more crooked. Fouled into the screen. That hit the screen hard. Two pitch. Fouled way off the right side. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball out into left field. Heading back is Davidson. And he can't catch it on the warning track. He went down hard. And he's hurt. Flips the ball and coming around and scoring. And they may call that inside the park home run because I don't think Davidson had a beat on the ball. We have time called. And they did give him a hit on that. Yes. So that is an inside the park home run for Jake Busson.
Boy, and if you're the Spooner Cardinals right now, you're holding your breath. You know, that's one of their better players out there, Davidson. And he looks in tough shape.
He hit his head, I think, on the fence.
Yeah, it looked to me like he was holding his head just now when he was walking. He might have got a little bit dazed there, too, not sure.
He's going to stay in.
Credit to Davidson. That looked painful from up here in the booth.
So it's a 3-run home run for Jake Busson, an inside the park home run. I have not seen an inside the park home run at anything above Little League in all of my 60 years. And so that is the first one that I've seen. And it usually involves somebody making a dive at a ball and missing. And he was way back on the warning track and went after it and could not come up with the catch. So inside the park home run, scores 3, making the score 5-1, Hudson on top. And at the plate is Jason Holler. Swing and miss. It evens the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, there's just certain plays in baseball you don't see them all the time, hardly ever.
Inside the park home run is pretty rare. Swing and miss, right 2.
I mean, I think I'm going to go out and buy a lottery ticket today. What the heck?
Here's the pitch. Check swing, and he went around. Strike 3, and he didn't even argue about that. He just took the bat with him as he was trying to get out of the way, and it went over the plate. 2 down. That'll bring up Will Gillick, and we did find out from Steve Kent over next door in the public address booth that Will Gillick is the son of Craig Gillick, former Cavalier.
Yeah, with a name like Gillick, that's just not a common name, so I figured there was a connection, and so did you.
And the first pitch is a called strike. And hit the outside corner for strike 2.
And also, Gillick is very talented, so you know he has good genes.
Yeah, Dan goes, Wranglers.
That too.
And I'll bet Rango wants his jeans back. Here's the pitch and the fly ball out into left field. This one's not quite so far back for Davidson. He gets under it and makes the catch. So that'll take care of the top of the 6th inning, but Hudson comes up with 5 runs on 4 hits, including that inside the park home run by Jake Busson. And they lead 5-1 after 5.5 on Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Ready for a better way to bank? Switch to Royal Credit Union. Royal Credit Union is a financial co-op, not a corporation, so we return earnings to our members. That means you get low or no fees for account services and better rates on deposits and loans. You'll also have all the digital tools you need at your fingertips, so managing your account is easy. Royal is ready to help you discover the credit union difference. Switch to Royal Credit Union today at rcu.org/difference. Insured by NCUA.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
We're heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, and I want to give a shout out to our viewers on their way back from the Babe Ruth tournament in New York, and the Eau Claire A's, and taking 4th place in that national tournament. Nice job, A's. And the first pitch is bunted, and it can't be fielded. I think we're going to get a bunt single there for Chad Patko.
And that's what I was talking about earlier in that first game, the art of the bunt for a base hit. It's just been lost over time. So thank you, Chad Patko, for showing me that.
Sam Holden comes to the plate. Holden got hit by a pitch and then lined out to right field. One ball and no strikes, runner on first. Echo on first, Holden at the plate. Ron Berg on the mound, and that pitch is high for a ball.
You know, and these batters have totally destroyed the right-handed batter's box with all the lime. There's no chalk in there anymore, so I really got to look hard to see where they are in the box.
He's about the middle of the box. And the pitch. That was inside for a ball.
Boy, and it's funny, I could hear it up here. One of his teammates said, you got to wear that. He wanted to get hit by that pitch.
Take one for the team, right?
Correct. We need base runners if you're Cardinal Spooner Cardinals.
And there's a strike called on the inside edge. 3 balls and 1 strike. Don Berge with his getting over pitch. And the pitch. And there's a called strike on that inside corner as well.
You know,
count goes full to Sam Holden.
And I was just thinking to myself, when is Hudson going to get their bullpen busy? And boy, they must have heard me thinking, because they got their bullpen busy now.
And a chopper out to the mound, toss over to first in time. So 1 out
It moved the runner over, so it's as good as a sacrifice bunt. Trevor Brimblecon comes to the plate. He's got a single with an RBI. He drove in the only run for the Spooner Cardinals. That pitch was a little bit low for a ball. Patko taking his lead. And the pitch. That missed high. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. That's inside for a ball.
So I got the binoculars out. I looked down there, and it's Owen Anderson, number 29, warming up in the Hudson bullpen. And for an old guy, I think I'm doing pretty good on my eyesight.
He's currently the designated hitter, so they'd just be taking the designated hitter status off of him if they bring him in. Here's the pitch, and it's ball 4. So 2 runners on for the Spooner Cardinals. And we're going to get a visit to the mound.
And the question remains, are they trying to buy some time for Owen Anderson, or are they going to bring him in? We're going to find out in a minute. Stay tuned.
And he's going out to have a little talk.
And Owen looks like he's throwing pretty hard down there, so he's not just loosening up. He's throwing hard.
See if they get a call to the pen here. Nope. They're going to leave Von Berg in. We're at that point in the game where pitchers start to show fatigue.
Now, does it help him staying as a pitcher because they're up 4-1 versus if it was a little tighter, or doesn't it matter as a coach, you think?
He's got some room to work with. They're up 5-1. So they got a 4-run lead. That means the tying run is on deck. So until he gets to the plate, you don't really worry a whole lot. That pitch is high and away.
Thank you for clarifying that. I just was wondering what your thoughts on that were, and I'm with you.
Von Berg delivers, and there's a strike called on the inside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Patko at second. And Brimblecon over at first. That pitch is low and away for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. And Berg delivers. And there's a strike called. Counts even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Where's the first and second and the pitch? That one missed. The count is full. 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball right back up the middle field by second base. Steps on the bags. Over the first, and they don't get him. So we get a fielder's choice for Siegfried.
Looked like the throw was a little wide there at first. I think if he'd have thrown it more on target, they could have had it.
So it's a 4 unassisted play at second, and then Siegfried's is on the fielder's choice. Runners on the corners now. Patko on third. Siegfried's on first. Christian Lindau. Or check that. That's Hunter Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum again comes in with a 286 batting average, 375 on base percentage.
And the first pitch is a ball. It was low. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch. Light shot out into left field. That's going to fall in. 1-1 comes in to score, and the runners advance.
So Rosenbaum does his job. And the Cardinals say, wait a minute, not so fast. We're a good team too.
And Patko came in to score, and we're having a visit to the mound, which means we're going to have a pitching change. And we'll get that all figured out right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the
Pineapple.
Nope. I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope. I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
New pitcher for the Hudson River Rats is Owen Anderson. He was the designated hitter, so now he just comes into the game, which means they lose the designated hitter for the remainder of the game.
We got a pinch runner. 9.
And we do have a pinch runner coming in. Trayton Wilson is coming in at second base for Siegfried's. So Owen Anderson on the mound. Von Berg went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, both of which were earned on 5 hits. He walked 2, struck out 5.
And Spooner says, hey, we better put some speed at second base because we need that run. Hence the pinch runner.
Nick Webster at the plate. He represents the tying run with 2 down. First pitch is a called strike. And the pitch. He had a notion, but did not go, and it's inside for a ball. Counts even at 1-1. Nick Webster, and that pitch missed. 2 balls and a strike.
Webster comes in with 3 RBIs, and he's thinking to himself, 4 RBIs would be nice on the season.
Strike called there on the outer half of the plate. Count is 2-2.
And the pitch. That's outside. Count goes full. Traveling time for the runners on base.
If you didn't say it, I was gonna. And you said it, so I won't.
Full count. Runners go. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So the bases are loaded. It puts the tying run on first. Brandon Rangel will step to the plate. He's 0 for 2, fouled out to the first baseman and grounded to short.
The Spooner fans have been pretty quiet today, and you can hear them now. They're pretty excited. They got something going here.
And there's a strike called. Inside half of the plate. Here's the pitch. That missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down. And the pitch. Ground ball over to first. Race to the bag. And Grant Korwitz wins the race. So that'll do it for the Spooner Cardinals in the 6th inning. They do pick up 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and the bases were left loaded. So we finished 6 innings, and it's Hudson 5, Spooner 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Aliva-Strum High School to take on the Aliva-Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Heading into the top of the 7th inning here at Carson Park, WBA State Tournament pool play. The Hudson River Rats leading the Spooner Cardinals 5-2. Due up for the River Rats is the law firm of Hove, Lawrence, and Lewis. Thank you, Ann, for that one. Kyler Hove leading things off. He's the catcher. He's 1 for 2, singled and struck out. Hunter Rosenbaum on the mound, and the first pitch is high for a ball.
You know, and if you're the Spooner Cardinals, you're thinking, let's hire the law firm Win one soon.
Of course, the Hudson law firm that they want to hire is You Hang On. All right, it's getting awfully deep, and we're up in the press box. Yeah, this is only game 2. We got 2 more to go today. That pitch is outside for a ball. Kyler Hove gets the base on balls. Brings up Peyton Lawrence. He singled and scored his last time up. That was to start things off in the last inning when the River Rats put 5 runs on the board. He squares to bunt, and it's a foul ball.
Looked like it hit home plate. I think the umpire just confirmed what I thought.
I believe you're right, and the catcher was standing in foul territory when he barehanded it.
I missed that part.
No balls in the strike. Peyton Lawrence. And the pitch. Ground ball out towards second. Throw over to second for 1, and Lawrence is going to get the fielder's choice.
Not sure why the guy didn't slide at second base, but he didn't.
I think he felt he might be close enough. That was a high hopper that his body being in the way would obscure the shortstop's view and make it tougher to complete the out.
That makes sense.
Back to the top of the order, Mitch Lewis at the plate. And Lewis takes the first pitch for a ball. So Lawrence at first takes his lead. Lewis shows bunt, pulls it back.
Lewis
2 balls, no strikes.
Lewis can play catcher, second base, third base, and right field. Impressive.
And the pitch. Throw down to first, and back in safely is Lawrence.
You know, and
every now and then you can catch a runner being a little bit lackadaisical coming to the bag, and that's when a catcher can make his money. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch is outside, throw down to second, and in safely is Peyton Lawrence.
I was just going to make the comment, not a lot of people realize this, but as a left-handed first baseman on that snap, throw from the catcher down to first base, it's easier for a left-handed guy at first base to make that snap tag because he's over there.
It's one of the positions that is tailor-made for a left-handed player. There are plenty of right-handed first basemen, but it really is tailor-made for a lefty. Ground ball gets past the first baseman, took a bad hop. Coming in to score is Lawrence, and safe at first. I want to see how they score that. If that's an error on the first baseman. No, they gave him a hit. So Mitch Lewis gets a single and an RBI. And Pete Lawrence comes in to score, making the score 6-2. Hudson on top. Hunter Fry at the plate, and he fouls one off on the right side. A couple of vehicles driving into the park, had to duck on that one. Here's the pitch. And that one's low and heading down to second, and in safely is Mitch Lewis. He also didn't slide.
Heads up now, heads up. Bring him around.
Lewis takes his lead. Pitch is inside to Hunter Fry. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch. Line shot out into right field for a base hit. And they put the stop sign up for Lewis over at third as Hunter Fry singles.
And Spooner executed that very well. The outfielder got the ball and hit the cutoff man, and they kept the Hudson runner at first base. Very good job.
Isaiah Grant Korwitz due up. He singled, hit an RBI single to left field last time up.
So we'll see if they pull the old double steal here or not, Hudson.
With 1 out, I would say it's a pretty good possibility. Ground ball over to short. Throw over to second for 1. Throw to first, and they're not going to get him.
And that scores a run. Very important run for Hudson.
So Grant Corwitz grounds into the fielder's choice, but picks up the RBI.
And if you're Hudson, you'll definitely take that.
Lewis came in to score. Hunter Fry was out. Ground ball over short, tossed to second for the third out of the inning. And so, for Hudson, 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody. Well, 1 left on base. So we've completed 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. And the Hudson River Rats have a 7-2 lead on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Oliva-Strum High School to take on the Oliva-Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
My character Shazam knows all about.
Regardless of where you are on your path.
And we're back at Carson Park. And foul ball. Showing bunt, and it's called a ball for a 1-1 count. This is to Jake Busson. Ground ball and throw over to, actually I had the wrong team there. That was Josh Davidson. And the high hop, and he's safe at first.
And Davidson improves his on-base percentage. He leads the team in that category.
So Carson Stenberg, he's 1 for 3. And the pitch. That's a strike called.
Stenberg leads the Spooner Cardinals in at-bats with 69.
One ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Picked up by the first baseman, and he takes it himself. That'll bring up Chad Patko. He got on a bunt single his last time up and scored a run. Owen Anderson on the mound for Hudson River Rats. And that pitch is a called strike. And the pitch. Check swing. And they're saying he went on that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Chad Patko. He's 1 for 2 today. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled back into the screen.
You know, I like these old school players. They don't wear batting gloves. They don't use any rosin. They don't use any pine tar. They grab dirt when they need a good grip.
And the pitch. That's high for a ball. Pretty good chase me pitch right there. That's one of those that looks like a watermelon when it's coming in. You really have to go after it. And the pitch. It's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hudson on top, 7-2, and the pitch. Line shot out into left field for a base hit. So Pat goes on with a single. Makes him 2 for 3 on the day, and brings up Sam Holden. Holden is 0 for 2. Lined out to right field and grounded back to the pitcher.
Holden is tied for the lead in games played for the Spooner Cardinals with 18.
And the pitch. Swung on and missed. He chased after a high pitch. That's a good one to stick in your Rolodex and remember. That one's outside, called, or on the outside corner for a called strike. By the way, for those of you young viewers, a Rolodex is what they used back in the day before they had notepads. And the pitch, line foul off to the right side.
Great job.
Contact lists and stuff like that on your phone.
I was going to say, great job of explaining that.
Pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 down. Maybe it's 1 and 2. I think I got a little bit ahead of myself here. And the pitch. That's strike 3 call. So Sam Holden goes down looking. And so do the Spooner Cardinals as they pick up no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We've played 7, and it's Hudson 7 and Spooner 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2. Coming up on Friday, August 25th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Strum High School to take on the Strum Cardinals. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 25th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
And we're getting ready to go to the 8th inning. Just want to remind you that coming up following this game, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after this game, we will be bringing you the 3rd of our 4 games, and that will be the Everest Merchants taking on the River Falls Fighting Fish. in a Pool 1 game, and that game will actually determine who goes to the Final Four from Pool 1. The winner will move on. It was scheduled for a 4 o'clock start, but it's pretty clear looking at the clock. We're coming up on 3:30. We're not going to get that one in at 4 o'clock, but about 5 minutes or so before the start of the game, we'll have it for you. Top of the 8th inning, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Jake Busson at the plate. He hit an inside the park home run his last time up. There's a ground ball right back to the pitcher, and the flip to first. Rosenberg to Holden, and out number 1. That'll bring up Jason Holler, who's 0 for 3, struck out twice and popped out third. He squares to bunt and bunts it foul. Here's the pitch. It's inside for a ball. And the pitch. Line shot. Stabbed by second baseman Rangel. A diving stab to get Holler out. And that's another one of those asterisk plays. There have been 3 of those in this game that are just spectacular plays, would fill a highlight reel. And the first pitch to Will Gillick is a called strike on the outside corner. And the pitch. There's another strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down to Will Gillick. There's one that just missed. Gillick is 0 for 3. Line to left. Flew out to left and popped out to the second baseman. And there's a called third strike. And Gillick goes down, as do the Hudson River Rats. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the score Hudson 7 and Spooner 2 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
A family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime?
Okay.
Adventurous. There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
So we head to the bottom of the 8th inning with Hudson on top of Spooner 7-2. Due up for the Spooner Cardinals. Trevor Brimblecon, Austin Siegfried, and Hunter Rosenbaum.
Come on, Rick, my writing's not that bad.
No, it wasn't your writing. I didn't write his first name down in the batting order, but I looked down at the pitching stats.
Got it. I know I'm still on probation, so I want to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's.
Trevor Brimblecon is up. He's 1 for 2 today. First pitch is a ball. He had an RBI single in the first inning. Pitch is outside for a ball. Two balls and no strikes. Owen Anderson still on the mound for Hudson. Here's the pitch. Strike called.
Don't want to jinx him, but Brimblecom leads the team in hit by pitches with 3.
And the pitch. That was inside. And there's a call, strike on the inside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. And the pitch is fouled back into the screen. And the pitch is fouled away.
That ball is brought to you by your complex located in University's Water Treatment Plant.
Count holds at 3-2. Trevor Brimblecon. Time called. Brimblecon wanted a little time. And the pitch. Ground ball past the pitcher, over to second, throw to first, and it pulls him off the bank. That's going to be an error on the second baseman on the throw. That'll be the first error. No, they gave him a hit. Oh my goodness.
That would have been a close play. The ball hit the pitcher on the way out there and it slowed the ball down, so we had to make a bang-bang play. It could have gone either way.
I thought the throw from second to first was there in plenty of time. It's just after it went off the pitcher, it did make it a difficult play. And so that's probably why they gave him the hit. No balls and 1 strike. Austin Siegfried is at the plate. And the ball gets past the catcher, Hove, and down to second goes Brimblecon. Siegfried is back in on the re-entry rule.
Boy, if you're Spooner, you'd like to start chipping away at this deficit right now.
And you don't have a whole lot of time.
No, you don't.
Down by 5, you're in the 8th. Nobody out, runner on second. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes to Siegfried. And the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball over towards short. Throw to first. And it's in time. They did a nice job of looking Brimblecon back to second. 1 out. Hunter Rosenbaum comes to the plate. Last time up, Rosenbaum singled to left field. Drove in a run. And there's a strike called on the outside third of the plate. And the pitch. That's outside for ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Brimblecon takes his lead at second. And the pitch. It's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. That's outside. 3 balls and a strike.
If you're a Spooner, you've got to be very disciplined at the plate. You need base runners.
I was just about to say the same thing. They're looking for base runners. 3-1 count. And it's high for ball 4. So Rosenbaum draws a walk. That'll bring up Nick Webster, and Webster is 0 for 2. He struck out looking, flew out to right field, and drew a walk. Gonna have a little mini conference out at the mound. Maybe it's not so mini after all. Here comes the manager.
So is it you get 1 mound visit, and then after that you got to pull the pitcher?
Per inning.
Per inning. Thank you. So can the catcher go out there as many times as he wants?
I believe in the WBA, yes. Now when you start getting into Major League, Minor League, and even like the Northwoods League, they limit the number of trips even catchers can make.
Thank you. Because
they also use a pitch clock and things like that, and they don't at this level. You can see the pitch clock that the Eau Claire Express use. It's that black box out in center field just to the left of the scoreboard with the white panel on top of it. And the first pitch is fouled back to Nick Webster.
And I can tell you one thing with this Hudson pitcher, you don't need a pitch clock because he comes set and he fires right away.
Yes, he doesn't waste any time. And the pitch. Soft line out into right field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Runners all advance. And the bases are loaded.
Great job of base running there. Flipping to second base. Base runner was 2/3 of the way there, and that's why he made it to second safely.
So the bases are loaded with Brimblecon on third and Rosenbaum on second. Webster on first. Brandon Rangel is at the plate. 0 for 3.
Rangel with 5 RBIs on the season, and boy, would he want a couple more here.
There's a strike call. This is time when you might do what's called a bloop and a blast. A bloop will score a run, and a blast would score 4 or more. We have a tie game.
Yeah, and you can just tell the Spooner fans are just looking for something to cheer about. You can just tell.
2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. That's inside. 3 balls and a strike. Nowhere to put them.
Knowing every pitch getting bigger and bigger.
Owen Anderson looks in for the sign. The 3-1 pitch. That's a strike called on the outside corner. And the pitch. High fly ball out into shallow right field. Coming in as the right fielder. He makes the catch. And nobody can advance. That'll take us back to the top of the order with 2 down. Josh Davidson.
Yeah, Brimblecon kind of made me laugh there. He kind of bluffed that third, and the right fielder was like, yeah, right, and he didn't even throw them.
Well, sometimes you can draw a throw that ends up into the backstop, and that's what he was trying to do. First pitch is high for a ball.
Spooner being very patient at the plate. They're waiting for their pitch.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Ground ball right back up the middle and into center field. 1 run is in, second run is coming in to score. Runner advances to third, but no, he doesn't. He's out there. But 2 runs come in. So Davidson gets a base hit to center field. He got 2 RBI. And that was Brimblecon and Rosenbaum. And Nick Webster is out at third with a throw of 8-5. So we've completed 8. And we have Hudson 7 and Spooner 4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are you ready to help your family get prepared for the unexpected? Here we go! Ladybug and Cat Noir know how important it is to be ready, because you never know when Hawkmoth is going to strike or a disaster will hit. And you don't need miraculous powers. Just put those planning skills you already have to good use. Make a plan that will help you and your family be ready when emergencies happen. Ready Kids can help. Get started at ready.gov/kids.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Back here at Carson Park. Game 2 of the 4 that we're doing today. Rick Olson along with Ben Ryder, Ann Monroe, and Dan Petschall. Coming up after this game, we will have the game between the River Falls Fighting Fish and the Everest Merchants. And it was scheduled to start at 4 o'clock. Obviously, that's not very likely to happen. But 20 to 25 minutes after this game is done, we should be back with coverage of that. Just keep checking NLWN-TV, and we'll be back with that one. Right now, we're heading to the top of the 9th. Hudson on top, 7-4. We've still got a game here. And leading off for the Hudson River Rats and popping it straight up to short is Kyler Hogue.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between being down 7-2 and being down 7-4. Spooner has a chance here.
Peyton Lawrence stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He's been on base all 3 times. Got a couple of fielder's choice. And he also singled. He scored twice. There's another base hit for him out into right field.
And there's nothing anybody could do on that one. He just hit it sharply over the second baseman's head.
So 1 away, runner on first, brings Mitch Lewis to the plate. Lewis singled his last time up. And we have time called. Some activity going on down in the Hudson bullpen. Ben's got the binoculars to try and get a number and a name. At the plate is Mitch Lewis, and the first pitch was a ball. And popped out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pitcher warming up for Hudson down in the bullpen is Jake Busson.
That would be just a position change. They move Owen Anderson over first to Busson on the mound.
So my guess would be he'll warm up down there until he has to bat, and then he'll come in bat.
And the pitch is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Mitch Lewis. That pitch is outside. Count goes full. 1 out. Runner on first. That's Peyton Lawrence. And the pitch. Lawrence goes, and it's ball 4.
That's the first time we've seen somebody with a 3-2 count with less than 2 outs try to steal in this tournament.
Brings up Hunter Fry. Fry is 1 for 4. He singled his last time up to right field. Throw over to second, and back in safely is Lawrence.
And if I'm starting a baseball team, I want Hunter Fry on my team because he can pitch, he can play second base, he can play left field, and he can play right field.
And the pitch, it's outside. Here's the pitch. That was low. 2 balls, no strikes. Two runners on, 1 out. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Pitch is in. Oh, it caught the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fly ball out into left field. Moving over and making the catch is Tanberg. So now there's 2 down. Runners at first and second. Brings up Isaiah Grancorbitz.
First baseman, Isaiah Grancorbitz.
And the pitch. Line shot right into the glove of third baseman Grimblecon. And Hudson goes down in the 9th inning with no runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 were left on base. We're going to head to the bottom of the 9th with Hudson on top of Spooner, 7-4 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How is it? Is it good?
Going to the bottom of the 9th inning, leading off for the Spooner Cardinals, Jack Petco. Owen Anderson went 1 2/3 innings. He gave up 2 runs. Both were earned on 4 hits. And a foul ball. Anderson went over to play third base now. Moving from third to short is Will Gillick, and coming into the mound is Jake Busson. He's on the mound now to try to finish this up. Not quite a safe situation. Ground ball over to first. Stab there, and by Grant Korwitz, and he steps on first.
And as a manager, when you have players on your team that can play a lot of different positions, it makes your job easier.
So Carson Stanberg grounds to the first baseman unassisted. Chad Patko comes to the plate. He had a bunt single and scored, also singled. He also walked and scored, so he's got a couple runs today. It's a good thing he wasn't Argino's player of the game. We'd be eating appetizers for a week. Pop foul out of play.
Yeah, you're right there.
Doesn't quite work that way, but it's a nice thought.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch is outside for a ball. That was a pretty good chase, this pitch. Ground ball through the hole out into left field. And it's a base hit for Patko. So Patko has a 3-hit day. He's 3 for 4. It brings up Sam Holden. Holden is 0 for 3.
I'll tell you what, if Spooner could get one more base runner on base, things would be pretty interesting.
Actually, I take it back. This is a save situation. It is a 3-run difference. And the pitch is low for a ball.
If somehow Spooner would get another base runner, that would force the tying run to be at the plate.
And the pitch. That's inside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. It's outside for a ball.
If you're the coach, you're saying, get on base any way, anyhow.
And the pitch. Fly ball out into right field. He shades his face, and he drops the ball. Throw to second, and they got the force at second. And so Holden is on an error by the right fielder. But Patko is out. 9-4 on the put out.
If I'm the Spooner coach, I'm hoping my player gets a little bit closer to second base on that. But it's tough either way.
Yeah, that's a really tough one to deal with. The rule of thumb is go halfway. But halfway, you're probably dead to rights there too. So,
I mean, if you're Caden Erickson or Xavier Bemister, you're on second base because you're halfway and you have speed. But, you know, those guys are so fast. And I should mention while we were away talking about that.
And we've got a player who's injured out there. And they're taking a look at his knee. And he's coming off the field. This is Chad Patko coming off the field. He was out at second, and he came down on the base kind of hard, and you can see something wrong with that knee from here. And it looks like he's got I mean, I'm not a doctor, but from here, that kneecap does not look like it's in the right place.
No, something tells me he might be going somewhere not named Carson Park.
Or check that, that's not Jack Pack. I had the wrong team there. That was Lewis coming off. Mitch Lewis. Maybe not. I didn't catch the number as he came off. Oh, okay. That was Will Gillett coming off. He had over at shortstop when he came in to make the out. And we'll see what they do as far as moving people around. Peyton Lawrence looks like he's going to be moving to shortstop. And I believe coming into play is Jason Holler, and he's out in left field. And in the batting order, he's going to come in for Will Gillett. So at the plate is Trevor Brimblecon. Pitch, strike called on the inside corner. 2 down. Brimblecon's the last hope for the Spooner Cardinals. And the pitch swung on a miss, strike 2. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When this game is over, we will have a very short version of Talkin' Baseball, and then we will leave the air until we're ready to come back for Game 3 of our quadruple header. Ground ball over to short. Picked up by Lawrence. Throw over to first, and they put the tag on him. It pulled off of first, put the tag on, and that'll do it. 6-3 on the putout, and the Spooner Cardinals go down, no runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 left on base. So final score is Hudson River Rats 7, Spooner Cardinals 4. We'll be back with Talkin' Baseball right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to announce that the new home for Colfax Viking football is now NLWN-2. Our first game broadcast is coming up on Friday, August 18th. The Colfax Vikings will host the Whitehall Norse. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, August 18th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
You've been tuned to the Wisconsin Baseball Association State Tournament Pool Play on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned, up next is Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of this game. Time now for Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of today's WBA State Tournament Pool Play game, brought to you by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. And now, back out to the ballpark.
And we're back here at Carson Park with a little bit of Talkin' Baseball as the Hudson River Rats took care of business today against the Spooner Cardinals by a score of 7-4. So the River Rats need to find out how Spooner does against Tilden. They still have an outside chance of making the Final Four tomorrow. The winning pitcher in this game would have been, let's see, I think it was, I'm looking to see when they scored the runs. I think it was Logan Von Berg would have been the winning pitcher, and losing pitcher would have been Christian Lindo. So, the Hudson River Rats got 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and the Spooner Cardinals got 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Again, that final score, Hudson River Rats 7 and Spooner Cardinals 10. Coming up, as soon as we get things reset and as soon as they're ready to go, we will have the game between the Everest Merchants and the River Falls Fighting Fish coming up, and that'll be coming up shortly on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. So for Ben Ryder, Dan Petchow, and Monroe, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, is the Spooner Cardinals dropping one to the Hudson River Rats by a score of 7-4. We'll be back in, roughly 25 minutes or so with Game 4 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been tuned to Talkin' Baseball with a wrap-up of today's WBA State Tournament pooled play game, brought to you by Mama Squirrels Cleaning and more. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.